Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of Jam and Cheese. Before we get into things, Cheese, and ask how you are, please everybody, if you do like the podcast, subscribe. Also, news coming out, we've got a sports lunch and origin special up in Cairns on March the 29th. The buy round are heading up there for the Cairns brothers. We've got Willie Mason and Shane Webke joining us in Cairns. Tickets will be available soon, so make sure you get around and get involved with that. Cheese?
That's quite a star-studded lineup.
It's a great lineup. Great talkers.
Probably the best front rowers we've had on the bar round.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely, Cheese. You are 100% correct. And I'll be taking your position as hooker in between them both, my friends. So yeah, looking forward to that. But how are you going, mate? How was the weekend and the week?
Oh, it's been good. It was another solid week of training. I got to go watch the game yesterday, which was awesome. The Maldives game, bloody awesome. I had itchy ass feet yesterday. Like just being out on the field, watching the boys warm up. I ended up grabbing a pad and jumping in and helping out, and it was hard. It was hard to sort of see it, and I guess you'd know exactly what it's like having those itchy feet, but just being out on the field and just like hearing the crowd, everyone yelling out, and it's so good to hear footy's back. It is back, Cheese, and I know what you mean when you're either injured or not involved, and you just, I don't know, you feel like a bit of a spare part. You just want to do something, and for yourself who's injured, just holding a pad, getting that little bit of contact, I guess you're contributing in your own little way, aren't you? It was weird because we kind of warmed up while the other teams were still playing, while the Dogs and West... Mate, we were in the in goal.
Mate, when I was watching it and you nearly collided. The Dragons were warming up out the back.
Yeah.
And I think the Dogs scored, and in the end there was almost a little collision. I was like, what is going on there?
Yeah, even when the Tigers were attacking, so we were on the other side, and when the Tigers were attacking the line, mate, we were on the dead ball line, doing run-throughs and stuff. It was pretty dodgy. But it looked so weird to see, because it looked like I was still in the perspective that I was on the field, and just looking at the defensive structures and that, I was like, shit, I feel like I'm a bit behind here. I don't know what I'm doing. But no, it was... It's obviously quite a small field, and it was a pretty weird experience. Like one of the balls got grubbered, and it just kind of trickled past us. It's like they're playing right now.
I remember when the World Cup semi-final in 2013, and the Kiwis beat us on the bell, Sean Johnson, and the Aussies were warming up behind us, and they were just watching the game, because it was obviously a brilliant finish to the game. We're shattered. They're warming up.
That was sad.
It was a sad day.
Guys.
What about your future, Cheese? Any movement yet?
No movement yet. Nothing to talk about. But obviously there's some meetings going on in the background.
Ooh.
Not with me, but with my manager, and hopefully I'll have some news for the buy round soon.
But
relatively soon.
Where's your head at with that? Has anything changed? You want to get it sorted before you're back?
Yeah, I think it'll be sorted a bit faster than I thought. But no, my head's still, I want to be a Rooster for the year. Yeah. That's where my head is. I want to do everything I can to make this year a memorable one for me and the Roosters. I don't want to be known as just the Melbourne player, because obviously had a great career at Melbourne. A great start to my career at Melbourne, and if I was to retire now, that would probably be the memory of my career, would be mostly Melbourne. I was looking to this year, I guess, change that narrative a bit and try to finish on a good note with the Roosters, and try cement a nice place for the Roosters in my legacy. Yeah, moving forward.
Yeah, good. Also in the news, been brought to my attention a big Katy Perry fan.
I
actually don't mind that. I don't mind a bit of KP.
I love KP.
Right.
And do you know who loves it? Spencer Leniu loves KP, and he's one of the most tough, aggressive buggers out there on the field to this day. But yeah, I was listening to it. We were off to the beach, Bronny Beach, and I was listening to a few of my old school playlists, and there's a lot of gangster rap like Biggie Smalls, Tupac, like all this gangster. And I said to my missus, like, babe, I used to be a bloody gangster back in the day. And the very next song that played was Katy Perry Raw. And I not to my knowing, my missus was recording me.
Oh, really?
And I was, I got the...
Very, very empowering song.
And you're gonna hear me roar. I actually love that song. Like, it gets played in the sheds more often than not. It's really uplifting song, but it was just the way I went about it and saying that I'm a massive gangster, and then Katy Perry come on. But I think Katy Perry is for the real gangsters.
You think so?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I looked at. She's got a few decent tunes.
California,
undeniable.
There, see,
yeah.
I'm not the only Katy Perry fan,
Um,
but yeah, I am a gangster too. Also,
Biggie Smalls is an interesting one.
Why?
He's got for me one of the most bizarre lyrics.
Yeah, he's got some. Mate, Tupac and him have some really questionable
lyrics. My rest in peace. One of his songs, he goes, phone bill around 2G's flat. No need to worry. My accountant handles that. And I'm like, a $2,000 phone bill. There is a need to worry. You're on a shit plan and your accountant's pulling your pants down. Like, sorry, Biggie. You've been done.
Yeah.
You need to get on a different plan. $2,000 on a phone bill. What are you doing, mate?
Were you thinking about this pre or this?
This is in the days before, like, you had to get 4G, 5G.
Yeah, but they were expensive back then. I remember you had to do in New Zealand, you had to do this thing. You had to text a number, text 2,000.
Yeah.
And it's like $20 and you get 2,000 texts.
Yeah, but still, $2,000. Oh, don't worry about it. Just give it to the accountant. Fucking no. Do worry about it, Biggie. You got too much money.
Did you just come up with that on the spot? Because I feel like that must have been something that you've been stewing on for...
I've been stewing on it for a long time. I've been looking for an opportunity to vent my frustration at Biggie Smalls. Again, rest in peace. It's just... and I know a lot of artists exaggerate with their lyrics, but come on, $2,000 and you're not worrying. Like, and he came from the streets. Like, you got to hold on to those values. You know an expensive phone bill when you see one.
That is such a bizarre thing to think about, honestly. But yes, you're correct. God forbid he didn't, wasn't managing his money very well.
Or someone was fleecing them, basically. Like you say, that the trials have been... It's been great to have the football back. Highlighted by the All-Stars game, Cheese. It was full of desperation. It was a proper game. Like, it was no exhibition.
Dang, Gagai.
It was on. It was on.
Dang, Gagai channels that bloody Origin Gagai that day. I think they're calling him the Pukana Gagai now. There's used to be the Origin, and also Dang Gagai is also Indigenous Aboriginal as well, which is, a little shot in. It's a bit like that cricketer that won England the World Cup that year against New Zealand. Yeah, Ben Stokes. He's actually born in New Zealand, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But
he wants to represent
dog
England.
of a bloke.
Same with Kevin Peterson. He was born in South Africa, but they're not stupid. Why would you want to represent New Zealand when you can represent England? So, not really a tough choice, is it, Brandon?
No, it's not.
No.
Really.
So, New Zealand's loss is England's gain. But the All-Stars game, I thought the level of competitiveness, like what it meant to both teams, it's a great spectacle, but it's nervous as a club coach. If you look at the other trials, they sort of just... Like the intensity was there, but not at the same level as NRL quality football. Yeah. Where I reckon if you're a coach watching your players go and do the business at the All-Stars game, you're nervous.
Oh, mate, I've seen Kalen Ponga. I saw him do a tackle, that try-saving tackle. I've never seen him do something like that at the Knights.
Mate, I thought it was a shoulder charge.
Yeah, nah.
You-
It sort of looked like that in fast motion, which was a little bit scary. I thought he was going to knock himself out, to be honest.
Well, he didn't wrap his arm. He just launched his body, didn't he? So
He just put every bit of his body mass behind. But you could tell, like, every one of those players in the field, they were playing like rent was due. You know what I mean? They were playing like there was more than just a game on the line. And I don't know what the NRL's doing with that game, but I hope they keep it around. Because it like just the way it's transitioned in the last couple of years, it used to be more of a novelty game, like pre-2020, you know, the NRL All-Stars, and the game wasn't really like it is now. It's such a...
Well, mate, really, when you look at the attacking quality that was on display for both teams, you thought it was going to be a very... Like, I was thinking it'll be an open game. Yeah. And when it came to the last quarter, the last 20, again, I was thinking, it's going to open up. It's going to open up. But
I was waiting for that as well. I was just waiting for the floodgates to open and all the points to be put on. I thought the hammer just was not used enough in the game, honestly. There was one set I remember watching the Indigenous attack the line, and hammer was on the left side of the field the whole time, and they shifted to the right 3 times in a row. But yeah, it was such a good game. I was so glad we won. I was walking around the bloody house going off my head when Gags did that try saver. But I thought honestly, if I could have awarded the Preston Campbell medal after Josh Kerr spoke, I thought we should take it off Jesse Arthurs and just give it straight to Josh Kerr, because that was one hell of a speech he gave after the.
Oh, I didn't hear.
No, it was an unreal speech. It was about culture, elevating culture, whatever the New Zealand government tries to do with the treaty, like we're going to have your back. It was a very well spoken. Yeah, if you haven't heard that, or the listeners haven't heard,
I've got a lot of time for Josh.
It's like you can just tell he's a very intelligent man, but just the way he went about his talk was, it was short, but it was just very impactful in my opinion.
I think it's like people can say what they want about different cultures, but I think it's pretty cool that Indigenous people celebrate who they are, that the Maori people celebrate who they are. Like, I think about myself being English and what does it mean to be English, but there's no real like celebration of English culture. We have, Remembrance Sunday. That's a bit, but that's more about the sacrifices of our servicemen and women. But
that's a very fortunate position that we kind of are, and we've got a very rich cultural history that's celebrated, in our countries. And I think Josh, what he said was like about the NRL maybe getting rid of the game. He said he wants to keep the game around because if you can change one kid's life from this game, one kid's life about culture, we can change a generation of kids coming through. And it was just a very, very powerful.
Yeah, I played with him at the Dragons, and obviously you could tell how proud he is of his heritage, and it's great to see. He speaks from the heart, Kerry. It comes from that love that he's got of his people. So yeah, good on him. And I think for the NRL, they have to keep it going. Because it is the standout trial, especially week 1, when the majority of the teams don't put in their top first grade teams. Like that game, it was worth watching. It's not just like a box tick. It's like we want to tune in because these two teams are going to go after it. Yeah. Whether you've got Maori background or Indigenous background, it's like, no, I just want to watch these teams because it's going to be a great game of rugby league.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of just some of the trials, just diverting quickly, the Super League, I don't know if you've seen. So they had Michael Buffer on, which was amazing. Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, I was going to say his head.
Which is brilliant for the UK Super League. Wigan played Lee, 80 minutes, 0-0. 3 minutes to go, field goal. Like 1-0. What's that game? Is it Scoreagami? Is that a scoregami? Surely.
I think 0-0's a scoregami. I don't think 0-1 is, no.
You think that's been done before?
Yeah. Not in the Super League, but I'm pretty sure. I used to have this little records book of like all the NRL records, and I'm pretty sure that was like the lowest scoring game was 1-0.
Yeah, well,
might not have been. Might have been 2-0.
1-0 is incredible. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. First game to be that score.
Jeez, it would have been a great watch.
But then on the flip side, and I'm talking about this because the Super League is important, especially with the NRL looking and considering to invest in the Super League. The more I think about it, the more I'm backing the NRL. I hope that the NRL do get involved, because I think after speaking with Andrew Abdo and the vision to grow the game, we need a strong Super League competition. We need 2 domestic competitions that are strong in order to grow the international game. But then the flip side of that, you've got this 1-0 Golden Point thriller versus St. Helens beat Salford 82-0. And it was on BBC, not prime time, but very rarely do you get a Super League game on BBC. 82-0. The administration, the Rugby Football League, denied Salford the opportunity to pick their best team because they're under salary cap constraints with this new ownership, which, I don't know. Great to see Saints win, but I don't think St. Helens will learn or get much from that game. And
82-0 is is that a scoregami?
I'm not sure.
I would say that's a big score.
It is a big score, but...
And didn't Wigan's like the champs, aren't they?
Yeah, Wigan, they won everything. So
and they lost to Lee.
And they lost to Lee, 1-0. So, and they're coming over to Vegas, which is happening. Jeez, it's only like 10 days.
You're excited for that. You said yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah, yes and no.
What's the no?
Long time to be in that city.
That sounds more of a yes.
Oh, no, look, there's going to be fun elements to it. There's going to be a lot of work involved as well. There's stuff happening with the buy round.
Sure there is, mate.
No,
you looked bloody flat out last time.
Flat stick. Flat stick. Absolutely. Just 25/8. I am working 25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
25 minutes a day.
Yeah. My knock on Vegas, cheese, is just like zero chill.
Yeah.
There's just no chill. Like if, say we go to Brisbane or you're in Sydney, Melbourne, wherever, or back in the UK, and you just want to have a minute to yourself and you just want to go downstairs, the hotel lobby, go and find a cafe and just chill. There's just noise everywhere. Those little tringling sounds of the casino. There's just... The lobbies as well, the hotel lobbies. There's no seats.
They are a nightmare, the lobbies as well.
There's no seats. And we fly back on the Sunday evening. You get kicked out your room at like 10. So you got a whole day to kill. You can't just chill in the lobby because they don't have any seats. They're going to sit you in the casino and then just hear those noises. And it's like, well.
My knock would be that, like, when I thought of going to Vegas, I thought, it's going to be a getaway. But honestly, it's like you're in Australia, but just lots of casinos in Australia. Because the amount of Australians that get around that game and make their way over there, you get stopped every 10 seconds. Like, it's crazy. So if you do go over there to escape, you're not really escaping.
No,
Australia. Everyone turns up. It's not a very big place as well. Like, it's not spread out. Everyone's in the exact same place. So you're walking past a lot of people that you've actually already met before or know.
Will there be 40 to 50,000 rugby league diehard fans there that obviously know who you are, which is great, and they're scattered along the strip. And I love that rugby league go there, but there is literally nowhere to escape. And it's just a city that's just designed to get your dollar, which is, again, what it's designed to do, which is fair enough, but sometimes, geez, when you get into this age, mate, you want a bit of chill factor. You know what I mean?
What is there to do there that's chill? Like,
Well, that's my point.
there's nothing.
That's the point.
There genuinely is nothing.
Yeah, there's genuinely nothing to do.
Is the Grand Canyon near there?
It's not far.
That's chill enough.
But the thing is, though,
Let's go have a look at a big hole in the floor.
Yeah, let's go and have a look at this. Isn't that interesting? Not really. Let's pretend that we want to do this. And you know what? You want to go to the Grand Canyon, that's fair enough. But geez, because I'm working every day, I'm there. I don't have a day to just go to the Grand Canyon. So...
I was talking to Charlie about this before. Do you think they keep the Vegas game around? Because
it's 5 years.
For more than 5 years.
I think the way sport is going, you and with the ambition, we need to keep branching out. And whatever the barometer of success, to be different things that they'd look at in terms of revenue, exposure in the States, exposure here in Australia and New Zealand, exposure in England, what the commercial value of it all is. I think 5 years, I'd like to see it continue. Remember when, did you play in the Denver test?
No.
So we went to Denver with a plan of it being, I think, a 3 or 5 year thing, a mid-year test. And we did it once, and then I think the back has pulled out basically, but it's like, maybe we might have been onto something there. And we didn't see it through. So the 5 year plan, I think it's always good to reassess. And whether it's Vegas or whether it's somewhere else, maybe we could have, for me, the Middle Eastern countries, they want a slice of sport in action as well. So maybe it could be a chat with the governor of Nevada or the people over in the Saudi and the likes, that sort of Middle Eastern area that have got a demand for sport. But I think we will continue to see the NRL played in countries other than Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, well, I think it's always going to be, with the teams always changing, there's always going to be a want for so many different NRL fans to want to go to Las Vegas to watch their favorite team play. I mean, for me, it was one of the best experiences I've ever been a part of in like a rugby league scene. Just being able to go over to America, be able to play in front of, on the field that the Super Bowl was played on. It's just unbelievable. And if I was ever to say that as a kid, that I'm going to play rugby league on the same pitch that Paddy Mahomes won a Super Bowl on, like you'd be kidding yourself.
Well, it's when we look at the expansion of the game, the battle that we're in with AFL, with rugby union, it's something that rugby league can add to its offerings to a player, if that makes sense. So when you hear the saying, "Oh, would you rather play in Penrith or Paris?" When rugby union talk, it's like, "Oh, yeah, good one." Well. And you go to work. I've been to many places on tour before, but I've not really been there. You're going to work. You're going to play a test match. If you go to Paris, it's like, yeah, brilliant. There's the Eiffel Tower, but it's time to. I'm there for kickoff. Yeah, and then
there's a lot of misconception around how much off time you actually get on a World Cup. Like, you get to enjoy after the World Cup being already there. But it's still bloody expensive.
Yeah, and it's not the same as going as a tourist. Mate, I've been to London that many times with football, but never seen it. Like I went as a tourist a couple of years ago. It was the first time I've been as a tourist to London. It's like, there's loads to do. Yeah. Where it's like when you're there on tour.
Yeah, you've got one day off maybe every.
Yeah, and even that on your day off, it's not like.
You can go and just booze up.
You will booze up or go and do
anything. You can't really do anything
you don't,
related to activity because you're going to be sore for the next day.
And you don't really want to be being a tourist on your day off. It's not what you do. So I think just with the Vegas thing or playing games overseas, it's something that can... It's a string to the bow for the NRL or the potential club to say, if you sign with us, hey, if you're an aspiring athlete that you've got options to play NRL or rugby, it's like, well, that's something that the NRL can offer, and it might only seem something small, but it is another thing that the NRL can offer athletes moving forward. Other news in the trials. What have you made of the level of competition so far?
Well, you can definitely tell, like, the teams that have played the really strong teams and the teams that haven't. Obviously, you see those blowout scores, but the one that was most surprising was probably the Brisbane game because, the Warriors blew out the Storm. Warriors are probably counting that as a win too.
Well, Warriors had full strength because they're a week ahead of the Storm.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
But I still saw a lot of players in that Warriors team that I was very impressed with. I think their centre's name, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, so I won't bother, but he was the right-hand centre for the Warriors. He looks like he's going to be a hell of a player. But I think, what I was saying about the Broncos game is the Titans looked half, full strength, and Broncos sort of blew them out of the park. So is that a sign of good things from Madge Maguire? A hard pre-season always determines the start of your season, how hard you trained at the start of the season. And that's why Melbourne have that great record, I don't know what is 20 in a row.
Yeah, the round
one,
yeah.
20 in a row. I think, because they train so hard in the preseason, it's a big element. And sometimes it can be the detriment. It can burn out. Melbourne can burn out at the back end of the season. But, the great work by Madge Maguire probably looked like it's against, what some players don't like it. But there's a result there already to start the season.
Yeah, it's an interesting one to see some teams like go all after it in the preseason trial game like the Broncos did, but even the Dragons picking a full strength team in the first trial, like, is that to get combinations? Is that to try and get one step ahead? I don't know.
I think it is. I think it's a combination thing due to the spine being a whole completely different spine that hasn't played together once. Like, we've got Damien Cook, who had a great game. Kyle Flanagan was probably man of the match. Ilias, and then Clint Gutherson, who I don't know if he'll be the fullback or...
He'll be playing fullback for sure, yeah.
But they all come from different sides.
Yeah.
So... I thought the Dragons looked real good. Obviously, the Roosters were not full strength, but just the combination looked pretty good. I thought Kyle Flanagan played so well.
Yeah, he did. Nice try with the show and go. It's you know what I can't understand, and I've been part of these teams before where you don't play your main players in the first trial. But a week before the first trial, you organise a scrummage game against another club.
Yeah, well, I think
do you know what I mean?
We've done that against Sharks last year.
Yeah, like, we've got two trials. You're not using a proper. You're basically brushing one trial, or a lot of in and outs. But then you organise one behind closed doors.
Anyways, yeah.
I don't know, like. Coaches are funny human beings. They perplex you at times, like with their thinking.
I wonder. Yeah, it's interesting wonder how much of it is the coach as well as the performance staff. Like,
but you'd think, like, why would you organise a live scrimmage game against an opposition, knowing that you've got a trial in a week's time? Like, what are you going to learn from that? It's just an extra trial, basically, but without the game day crowd but everyone gets strapped, everyone gets their mouth guards in.
Yeah, obviously, it was a weird one for us because I know the amount of stuff that was told not to do, like in trial matches.
Yes, and this is the thing. It's so.
Is that overthinking? Do you think? Like, I'm not saying we're overthinking, but I feel like a lot of teams will like hold back their plays. It's like, why didn't you just do them?
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but it's just like, you're gonna get found out soon. Like,
you're 100% correct. Like, under strict instruction, so you practice. You'll fine tune your game plan in the off season. You might change a few things on how you're going to attack. Defense principles are pretty much the same, but
defense principles will always be the same.
But with attack, you're not.
That's
you're not doing anything out of the ordinary.
That's why it's like our game, bro. The Rooster, we look so non-expensive, and like people, like commentators that take this as like gospel. They're like, you know what I mean? And it's like there was sets where it was just like 5 ruckies carrying it to a kick, and there was just a number of those sets. And I was thinking, why are we not playing with the ball? And then I was thinking, we're
actually told not to. It's funny that as well. Like coaches are gonna look at their the tapes from all different angles of the trial. I think looking at most of them, I think most coaches, maybe minus Hasler at the Titans, will be relatively happy. No one picked up any major injuries, which is one of the big tick of the box. But coaches would probably get mad if players went into a system that they've been practicing, or they did something like that. Maybe they've got up their sleeve. I'm of the opinion one of the rules that hasn't been exploited enough is the 20-40. And it'd be a great time to practice one in pre-season. But if you did one in the pre-season trial, then opposition coaches are going to know, watch out for the 20-40 against.
But I feel like you're onto something though, Jimmy. I feel like if you feel like if you've got 2 tackles inside your 10, like it's something your brain should immediately be thinking about.
Because they're the opposite wing
but
is
this
so
is the
compressed.
thing, even if the coach says to the fullback, mate, watch this 20-40, he's like, it is such an outrageous play to try to pull off that it's not going to be on the forefront of your mind. I don't, or at least I don't think.
It wouldn't be because it's so rare, but it's on. Or when teams are pinned in that corner, like talk about how to change momentum. That's a big thing in the game at the moment is once a team has the momentum, it's so difficult to wrestle it back. Well, if it's so difficult to wrestle back anyway, what are the consequences of kicking on play 3?
Mate, look, I agree.
It's not actually that different.
I agree with you because
if you don't execute the 20-40, the consequence is we get 2 more carries maybe or another carry and we kick it down. They all their 3 are back and they catch it on the full. But if you go play 3 for a 20-40, there's only the fullback back. You're gonna, as long as you hit the ground, I think you're in a better position. As long as you don't kick it out on the full, you hit the ground. Say if the fullback saves it or stops it or it goes out, you're in a way better position.
See, they didn't talk about your brains as your career, but it's something I cannot fault you on. Like if you're getting bashed, like you're in the corner getting bashed, it's play 3. Plus you're probably going to get 20 more meters. So you're probably going to kick from 35 to at most 40 meter line. Three fullbacks are going to be there. You're going to have the 2 wings, you're going to have the fullback. They're going to bring it back 30 meters. Like they're going to bring it back 20. But if you just pelt this fucker like as hard as you can, you don't even need the 20-40. Just kick it as hard as you can where the fullback's not. Like you're going to be in better field position than you would if you took the 2 tackles and then kicked it.
100%. Like why teams don't...
Why are we not coaching New South Wales? Me and you, Jimmy.
Because I'm from Liverpool, England, and you're from Waiheke Island in New Zealand. That's why they'd never... Imagine that first origin, just getting bashed. Go for the 20-40. It goes out on the full. They take the 2 and we lose by 2. Whose idea was that? I think it was that Brandon Smith's, you know.
Did you the women's game? There was a heartbreak for the Maldives. Did you see that?
No.
It was a draw. They went for the field goal and it was accidentally touched the foot. But she's dove and she's hit her foot with her head, like bottom of the stud's head. Ooh. And it was put in dangerous position for the kicker. But anyways, back to the trials. Enough of our genius.
Yes, enough of our genius. In the trials, it was a New South Wales Cup trial. Great to see Cody Ramsay. 896 days he's been on the sideline. When you think about the horror that he's been through, I think 6 or 7 months in hospital, multiple surgeries. He's had...
What was the sickness, eh?
It was like an internal organ. Like this isn't like a football injury. This is like some outlandish
Didn't he get
disease.
sick and then
Yeah, it was bad. And I was reading about how much weight he'd lost. And when I was at the Dragons, he was coming through. He was like making a bit of a name, like blessed with speed, like absolute freakishly fast. Made his debut there, and it was looking like he was looking like he could potentially be the fullback. You know, there was him, Sloan. I think Dufty had gone at that point, but
where is Dufty?
Warrington. And then he just got this illness, and like to persevere through all that, when really, like, Cody Ramsay probably should have just focused on himself and his health. But maybe that said, maybe the goal to get back was maybe what may help him get better. Like, 'cause I think he's had like 2 kids since then. Like
the drive,
that drive to actually try and achieve something to get back. He's had to put on so much weight. He said it was like 16 to 18 kilograms he's put on, like, from his actual lowest weight, and he's still got 10 to go. Yeah. Like, talk about a feel-good story.
He's a serial killer, I reckon. I spoke to him yesterday, sort of congratulated him. I seen him. But I actually, first time I ever met him, I was with Jack Bird, and we were in Melbourne, and we're having a few beers, like, and talking a bit of shit. And mate, he was like, oh, do you like your fishing? And then he was showing me all his fishing, and then he's like, do you like your hunting? I was like, yeah, showing him all his hunting. And mate, we were pretty pissed by this point, and he was like, mate, you put an apple on your head, I'll nail it from 70 meters away with a bow and arrow. Well, but he said it with such confidence. I was like, geez, how pissed are we? Like, we're getting to these talks, but he's quite the madman, I've heard. He's quite a very scary kind of guy. You don't want to mess with him in a jungle if you're in there. He's showing me his knife collection and.
No, don't mess with Cody Ramsay. But congratulations, Cody, on that comeback. Funny thing happened. Well, not funny. South Sydney forgot to book the medical staff for the game, and that's why it got delayed. There was talk of somebody having an incident in the stadium, but that wasn't the reason. Now, I know when a kit man or the gear steward has forgotten the kit or the socks, and everyone laughs and rips in on them, but this is a massive oversight from South Sydney to not book. Like,
what happened? Because apparently there was one there at the time, and then they left. When I was watching the pre-game show,
I don't know if the ambulance that was there took away the fan that had a heart attack in the stadium. But from my understanding of what I've read, South Sydney are accountable for this. It's their oversight, but I mean, I know they've got a new coach.
Maybe it was a Wayne Bennett sort of masterstroke. Yeah. Let's slow this game down.
That's straight out the Des Hasler playbook. That let's.
But it was actually quite frustrating because I didn't realise that the women's Maldives game was then put on Sky Sports 503 or something like that.
Oh, right.
And I flicked over and they were in the fourth quarter. So I've just been watching this pre-game debacle going on and listening to James Hooper talk about what's going on. Instead, I could have been watching the Maldives game. I didn't realise. So.
Oh, one last takeaway from the trials, and it's something that's been in the headlines a little bit, is we've got to stop calling the Brisbane Broncos Rockstars.
Wow.
Because Rockstars don't train twice a day. Like, Rockstars don't perform like the likes of Reece Walsh do. Rockstars don't get their face broken in a State of Origin game. Like, is Reece Walsh looking good? Absolutely, but that doesn't make him a rock star. Rock stars go on like drug fuel benders, turn up to like Oasis. They thought they were doing one drug and it was actually a different drug, and they could barely perform when they went to America. Like, the behaviour of rock stars versus the behaviour of the NRL team of the Brisbane Broncos. It's not comparison. We've got to come up with a better phrase. It can't be. It's an insult to rock stars.
Yeah.
Rock star, like you think of Pete Doherty,
Slash,
who's like,
Siggy's.
like they're all like smoke, like they're all taking all sorts. We've got to come up with a better term to describe. Like even if you said no boy band, because they're all like a bit skinny and a bit boyish. Like we've got to come up with a better alternative.
Maybe that's something our fans can do.
Like a bit
Little
of like
comment, maybe
fitness influencer style, like like looking good, like that's fine, but don't insult rock stars with Reece Walsh, Patrick Carrigan. You know what I mean? Who's
the biggest rock star in the world?
If Patrick Carrigan turns up like smacked off his face to a game, then Jesus Christ.
What a rock star.
What a rock star, like looking skinny, like he's not trained, had not eaten for like 3 months. Go, Jesus Christ, he's acting like a rock star. He's not. He's massive. he's not a rock star.
Who's your biggest rock star?
Be like Noel or Liam Gallagher. But again, like...
Have you ever, Liam Gallagher talk about one beer?
Yeah.
Not going to go to the pub and have one beer.
Who goes for one?
He's like, I'm going to go to the pub and I'm going to have 100 beers.
Yeah, that's a rock star. We've got to get rid of it. What else have we got? Oh, thoughts on Lomax getting dacked by Offa and Gowie?
Man, I think that's bloody hilarious. Obviously, I think that's hilarious. Like, for him to have to come out and publicly apologise. I mean, it's like, I get it. I do get it, but it's just like, it takes a lot of fun out of being a rugby league player.
Yeah. I
remember, Harry Grant, Cameron Munster. Remember they decked the Queensland trainer after Queensland won a game. They didn't have to apologise.
I think the fact that it was on while Lomax was being interviewed by a female presenter on Fox.
That makes sense.
That's the different. The devil's in the detail there. I think like if you dack someone at training, or even if it was like club media, and you know the person, and hope like, and it's someone that you know, and it's all like hard, and you can sort of edit it to be like, this is But I think the fact that, look, I'm not a party pooper or anything like that, but it's probably...
Yeah, no, it does make sense, the female aspect.
Like with where the game is trying to go, and we can argue about whether that's the right way, the wrong way, whether it's too PC, whether... But it...
I wish she had no undies on. That would be so funny.
In an alternative universe, it would not be nice, but I
as far as pranks
go, I appreciate the humour. We've got to get into the rises and fallers of the season. Pick something in the NRL, team, club, player, coach, to rise and to fall.
Rise and to fall. Rise of Madge Maguire. I reckon he's actually... I'm actually liking my prospect of Madge Maguire being an NRL coach again. I do have. Is
that you trying to butter him up to get?
No, I have a lot of respect.
Brisbane number 9.
No,
they've got Corey Pakes. They've got Walters.
No, I've got a lot of respect for Madge Maguire, and I think the quality they have in their side. I feel like if they've brought into it, which looks like a few of the young players in the Brisbane Broncos have. I'm actually going overseas, Jimmy. That's where I'm signing. I'm signing out. St. Helens. Are you St. Helens?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Great signing.
I'm not buttering him up. I think...
Mate, are you joking? Of course, you could have gone for anyone in the NRL. You could have said yourself. Maybe you're saving yourself for the fall.
Not have...
Maybe you could have said the buy round. You could have said anything you want. You've gone, Maguire.
Actually, do you know where I might sign?
I like you, Maguire. Where Adam Reynolds is going to leave. I'll take his money. You pathetic.
Do you know where I should sign? I should sign with the West Tigers coaching staff after seeing who's on there. Aaron Payne, Chris Hollington, Benji Marshall, 3 has-beens. I could join in.
You've still got it, Cheese. You've still got it, my friend. But Matt, this has made me feel physically sick. You using this podcast as a platform to not just leave to go and sign for the Broncos, but that would also mean the end of Jam and Cheese. So.
No, I'm not going to the Broncos. I just
love you, Madge.
Okay, I'll take it back. Madge is now my fall. Madge.
Oh, even worse, you're going to fall this year till you come in and be the I'll save the day, Madge. When the Broncos are going rubbish, you know what you need? A good solid number 9.
Yeah, so the fall of Madge Maguire and the rise of Brandon Smith bringing Broncos back to their glory days.
I'm going to take Willison to be the riser.
Who?
Willison from the Broncos. Mate, he is just
Xavier Willison.
Yeah.
Mate.
I say Xavier, you say
Xavier Willison, good friend. But that game... He's unbelievable, but he has the brains on the man. He's so dumb.
Doesn't matter.
Did you watch the game?
Yeah. But mate, he is a weapon.
I think he had 3 penalties on taking out the fullback.
That's fine. Madge can work with it. Madge, your mate, can work with him on that.
I actually messaged him after the game. He goes, bro, I played shit. And I was like,
mate,
you played good. Your brains is just shit.
Well, I've said this, I think...
Mate, he could be anything.
Yeah, I think he'll be the most spoken about Brisbane player this year.
He is a big mother sucker.
He is.
He is. He actually really is a big guy.
Yeah. And Tiakora's not far behind
You know
him.
who he reminds me of after playing with him and like hanging around him? He reminds me a lot of Tino. Yeah. Like their mannerisms.
I can see that, yeah.
You know, young fathers, like, you know what I mean? And just like his curiosity is almost too much, you know what I mean? It's like he asks a lot of questions, and that's what Tino was like. But yeah, I think he could be a very special player, and he's a hard hooer to handle.
Funny that players that ask a lot of questions that, Tom Burgess used to be like that.
Really?
Yeah. Big.
Was that due to...
I think, he was a big person. I think sometimes big people... They sort of need it's all there's they say there's no such thing as a dumb question. There isn't, but then there are some untimely questions. Do you know what I mean? Like there's untimely ones where it's like, oh, shut up! Don't ask another question now. We're about to get it. We're about to go. Tom had a bit of a delaying tactic question. And I was great at school at delaying tactic questions, but that was for the benefit of the class.
Do we have any examples of... It's hard to bring up examples.
Yeah, it's hard to...
Or like...
what we might be doing something in defence. About, well, what happens if we get into this situation? It's like, Tom, just don't worry about it, mate. We'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. But Willison, I think he's my big riser. Fall is a difficult one. I'm struggling.
Oh, what? So rise and fall?
Yeah. I'm not picking Willison to rise and then fall. We're not picking who's gonna do that.
Oh, I did. Madge is gonna rise and fall.
And then after Origin, they're just gonna tank.
No, you mean rise and fall?
Yes,
not rise
not rise and. We're not doing who's going to rise and fall. We're going to do who's going to rise, and fall.
I feel like Tom Burgess right now.
So what we doing? We're doing a riser and fall.
No, I thought we were doing a rise or fall.
Oh, you just want to do and or?
Yeah.
You want to? So if you're too scared to do a faller.
The fall. See, it's hard. It's hard being this early in the season. But
nothing, just suspense. I understand it's a difficult one for you, Cheese. I'll.
No, but I'm trying to think of like coaching team, not like.
I've got to worry about the Cowboys, man. They're very inconsistent. I'm
really?
a bit of a worry about them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a worry about the Knights as
The
well.
rise of Chad Townsend.
Okay, that's another rise.
He's an unbelievable bloke, Chad Townsend. I love him.
I'm glad he's going well. We'll get into some questions from our listeners. There is an amazing one.
For some reason, I felt like we haven't been here that long. Wow. See, time flies when you're having fun, Jimmy. Look at that.
Do you know,
That is crazy.
one of my most annoying things is when people lose all perception of time. And I hate dealing with those comments where did the year go? It only feels like yesterday. Doesn't really, does it?
No.
Yeah. Oh, how long ago since you last played? Like 4 years? It's like, but it feels like yesterday. No, it feels like 4 years ago.
Yeah. No, that's true. But I swear, the footy life, it goes by fast.
When people say, when those older players, it goes by like that in a blink of an eye. You're not playing anymore. Really? Don't think so, mate. Fucking hell. Finished playing. Dave Omar, which NRL club will have the biggest improvement this season? That's an easy one for me. The Dolphins.
Tigers.
Or you go Tigers, I go Dolphins.
I actually, I got the opportunity of sitting with a few of the Tigers players last night, and just the overall confidence they had. You know, Terrell May leading that confidence. He's never been one to shy away from a bit of confidence. He's probably the most confident bloke I've ever met in my life. But yeah, just speaking to him and just seeing the connection they have as well. I thought they were pretty good in the trial as well. But yeah,
be interesting to see how the Tigers go with with some actual game day pressure. Luai is going to be their leader, no doubt. Terrell May as well, but how much influence can they have on those other guys? And I know they've signed some other players as well. Jack Baird, Royce Hunt, Taruva, but just how much can they change in one off season? And I'm worried that we're expecting the same impact of Stephen Crichton and Cam Serraldo after his second year in charge. I just worry that now is the expectation, when really that is the outlier. The Bulldogs in 24 was an outlier improvement. It's not the norm. This is a great one. Jack Kenny, 96. Would you rather have to play an entire season with a mouth guard that tasted like off milk, or wear boots that are half a size too small?
I'm going with the boots half a size too small. Because I wear boots half a size too small. Yeah. So I'm 11 and a half, and I'll wear size 11 boots, or I'll wear 10 and a half if I have to, because I like to fit my boot to just feel like there's no separation.
Snug.
It's not snug, like it's on.
Oh, right.
And it's not, because sometimes when you put on socks, like footy socks, and if you don't put the grip stuff inside, like you kind of can feel your foot like move around inside your boot. I try to alleviate that with smaller boots.
A lot of players don't wear. I never used to like wearing new socks.
No,
like
I hate
new
it.
socks. They move around too much.
They're like silky.
Yeah. You slip around. Use some soccer players, or football players, as I should call them. They used to get their new boots and then half a size too small, and then wear them in the bath.
Yeah, I do that still.
You wear your boots.
I don't wear them in the bath, but I wet them.
Wet them.
Yeah, I wet them so the leather like.
But does that not make them more stretchy?
Yeah, but because they're already smaller, they
mold to
and when they dry out, they kind of constrict again.
Like a boa constrictor.
Yeah, every time I get new boots, I wet them.
Yeah.
With them on my feet.
Well, maybe that's...
And I don't wear a mouth guard, so I'm especially...
You don't wear a mouth guard?
Nah, and I'm especially not wearing one with fucking... It tastes like off milk.
Why don't you wear a mouth guard?
I don't know. I swallowed one when I was younger and...
Did it come back off?
Yeah, came back out my ass. It was a bright green one. Because in New Zealand...
Hang on. What? A mouth guard? You swallowed it and it came out your bottom?
So in New Zealand, you have to wear a mouth guard.
Yeah.
If you get... Like when you're a junior, if you've got no mouth guard, you get sent off the field. Like if you score a try and they see you don't have a mouth guard, they can take the try off you, send you off the field. And so I used to forget my mouth guard all the time, and my dad used to buy the little junior ones, and when they do the mouth guard check, And I'd just have it in my mouth, and it wouldn't be like molded. And then one time, this big solid smoked me, and because it's not malted, it's just gone, and it's gone straight down.
And you actually swallowed it.
I was actually swallowed it.
You didn't choke to death.
No, I didn't choke.
Obviously not.
Obviously not. It wasn't. It was like it's like a smaller one. I used to wear the kids' ones. Like if I molded them, they were still a little bit small, anyways, because I hated them. And then that happened, and then I just waited. I was waiting for it for a couple of days, and then it's just this bright green mouthguard come out my back end, and
Did
in
it
my
hurt?
No.
Did you not? Did you know?
I don't know why it didn't hurt, Jimmy. But it didn't hurt.
You looked and went, oh.
Yeah, I kept looking for. I've
just wash it off and then just put it back in.
Money was tight, Jimmy. Money was tight. No, I kept checking all the time. Mm.
What a bizarre story.
I swallowed a Milky Bar wrapper too. That came out as well.
Jesus Christ, jeez. You know what's interesting? You've obviously played with Cameron Munster. He takes his mouth guard in and out all the time. It's actually insane. And once you know, and I'm sorry for saying this to our fans and our listeners and our viewers, but watch Cameron Munster when he plays. He holds his mouth guard, and then when he's about to make a tackle, he'll put it back in.
Yeah.
It's insane.
He does.
It's actually, it's hard not to just look at and be, what are you doing? What are you doing? Put it in now. Put it in now. Like,
yeah, he does
why
bizarre.
does he do that?
I don't know. I
Just
feel like
leave it
he's
in.
not the only one that does it either.
He's the one I noticed. That
Yeah.
it's just bizarre.
Straps the shoulders on.
I don't like small. I like obviously playing in the middle. It's a little bit different. I don't like tight boots, achy feet.
Did you wear career savers?
Sorry?
You know the Asics that are like joggers, but
Oh God, no. I know the ones that
the
you're
ones that look like
talking-
big bloody tissue boxes on your feet.
Mate, I know the ones that, and I know a few people that wore them in training, and they used to bring a big smile to my face. Yes, I know the ones you're talking about. I reckon you just get used to the taste of off milk, and you just crack on.
Yeah, no way.
I think that'll wrap us up, Charlie? Yeah. All right.
And also, I got the fake teeth, so one gets knocked out, one gets put back in.
Yeah, but then...
And they're 4 times stronger. Porcelain. Stronger than enamel.
Thanks for listening to it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this show. We'll catch you midweek for Midweek Matters with myself and Charlie, and then season preview, and then some shows from Las Vegas. All right, take it easy, everyone.